The different forms of cell transport. Active transport. This transport expends energy and goes against gradients of concentration. Passive transport. This transport does not expend energy and goes in favor of concentration gradient. It can be simple diffusion, facilitated diffusion, and ultrafiltration. Simple diffusion. The molecules cross the Lipid layer. Gases such as carbon dioxide, CO2, and oxygen, O2, pass through it freely. However, other small polar molecules with no electrical energy, such as water, can pass through the membrane only in small proportions. Facilitated diffusion. The passage of molecules depend on the presence of the integral membrane proteins that allow this passage. Channel proteins, channels, with gate are classified according to the stimulus necessary for them to open. Endocytosis, incorporation of material into the cell. Exocytosis, secretion of the material produced by cells. Level of organization. The first level is that complexly is that of the atom, although if we are strict, we could even describe the subatomic level. The atoms form molecules and biomolecules. The biomolecules constitute the organelles and structures. The set of organelles form the functional unit of life, the cell. A set of cells specialized in specific functions form a tissue. The tissues form organs. The organs are grouped into into systems, and in a multicellular organism, the system constitutes the individual. We can see in the image the four types of tissues: the connective tissue, the epithelial tissue, the muscle tissue, and the nervous tissue. Connective tissue. It covers the surface of the body and inside of some organs and cavities like the skin. Epithelial tissue is the tissue that it is the filling between organs and connects with other tissues. Muscle tissue. Thanks to this tissue and its ability to contract, humans can move their muscles. Nervous tissue. It constituted for the most part by network of neurons. It forms the nerves, the spinal cord, and the brain.
Homeostasis. Homeostasis refers to the set of self-regulation phenomena that lead to the conservation of steadiness in the composition and properties of the internal environment of an organism that allows it to have a free life. If homeostasis is successful, life continues. If unsuccessful, disaster or death ensues. Homeostasis in ecosystems is a product of the combination of biodiversity and large numbers of ecological interactions that occur between species. It was thought of a concept as that could help to explain an ecosystem's stability, that is, its persistence as a particular ecosystem type over time. Homeostasis is brought about by the natural resistance to change when already in the optimal conditions, and equilibrium is maintained by many regulatory mechanisms. All homeostatic control mechanisms have at least three independent components for the variable being regulated: a receptor, a control center, and an effector. The receptor is the sensing component that monitors and responds to changes in the environment, either external or internal. Control centers include the respiratory center and the renin angiotensin system. An effector is the target acted on to bring about the change back to the normal state. At the cellular level, effectors include nucleoreceptors that bring about changes in gene expression through up-regulation or down-regulation, enacting negative feedback mechanisms. An example of this is in the control of bile acids in the liver. Any system in a dynamic equilibrium tends to reach a steady state, a balance that resists outside forces of change. When such a system is disturbed, built-in regulatory devices respond to the departures to establish a new balance. An example of this is the regulation of the corporal temperature to maintain vital functions. In warm-blooded organisms, the external may fluctuate, but the internal temperature remains constant. The range between high and low body temperature levels constitute the homeostatic plateau, the normal range that sustains life. As either of the two extremes is approached, corrective action returns the system to the normal range. Organ systems. Our bodies are made of 12 basic organ systems that manage all the essential body functions. All the systems will work together to try to create what is known as homeostasis, or a state of balance within the body. Circulatory. Transports oxygen, nutrients, and other substances to the cells and removes waste, carbon dioxide, and other substances from the cells. Includes the heart, blood vessels, and blood itself. Lymphatic. It defends the body against infections and diseases, and transfers lymph between the tissues and the bloodstream. It includes lymph vessels and lymph ducts. Digestive. Processes food and absorbs nutrients, minerals, vitamins, and water. It includes the mouth, the liver, and the intestines. Endocrine. Provides communication within of the body through hormones. It includes the testicles and the ovaries. Integumentary. Provides protection against injuries and loss of fluids, as well as physical damage against infection from microorganisms. Some that it includes are the skin, hair, and nails. Muscular system. Provides movement, support, and heat production. It includes skeletal muscles, cardiac muscles, and smooth muscles. Nervous system. Collects, transfers, and processes information. It includes the brain, spinal cord, and sensory organs. Reproductive. Produces gametes and sexual hormones. It includes the vagina and the testicles. Respiratory system. It exchanges oxygen and carbon dioxide between blood, air, and body tissues. It includes the mouth, nose, and the pharynx. Skeletal system. Supports and protects the soft tissues of the body. Some include the bones, cartilage, and tendons. Urinary system. It eliminates the excess of water, salts, and waste of blood and body. Controls pH. Some of it include the kidneys, uterus, bladder. Immune system. Defense against microbiological pathogens like viruses and bacteria, which cause disease. It includes the leukocytes, tonsils, and lymph nodes.
Health and disease. To understand this concept, we need to divide it into health and disease. The health. The concept of health is a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being, and not merely the absence of disease or infirmity. Lifestyle and living condition are two important factors in having a good health. Disease. The disease consists in a condition of the body in which the body, its functions are endangered. Health in adolescence. The health in adolescence consists in mental health, mostly in mental health disorders like anxiety, depression, and etc. This happens because of social pressure or social anxiety. This is because a lot of adolescents suffer this kind of problems. Sometimes our age changes or some social problem they have. Some of the problems they suffer are social phobias, panic disorders, anxiety, depression. Healthy lifestyle. Having a healthy lifestyle is about a lot of things. It's about how we eat, how we exercise, etc. We can say that having a healthy lifestyle depends on eating well and doing moderate exercise. Here are the references, and thank you for your attention.